Okay, I don't know if anybody's here or if anything's going on. I don't know what's happening. But I don't know what it. Okay. No. Is anybody here? Because this is my phone because my internet's not working. So it may be somebody had an accident. My internet, like home internet's not working. So I don't even know where to put this because I've never used this phone for doing live before. So, y'all let me know how it's working. We're going to try this to finish the study and then I'll fix the name of it and all that stuff after we're done. But oh, I might have got internet back again. If so, I may try to. Well, let's just finish the study. Let's just finish the study, and I will rename this like part 2 or whatever, or retake or something. I don't know. Let's just keep going. I'm just gonna try, y'all. My nerves are messed up anyway with bad weather, but it's a little weird today. But I don't know if Donna's back. Um, I don't know. Hopefully, yeah. I know I'm offline. I'm sorry. I can't help it. Um. The computer keeps telling me I'm offline. I know. I'm using my phone data. I have plenty. It's unlimited. So Esau married the Ishmaelites of the Ishmaelite women. So we know that happened in chapter 28. Why am I looking over there? Oh, this is way off. Let me get back onto the right chapter, the right book. It's in 2 Samuel. Why did it start me there? I don't know. Because that's the last place I was, I guess, or something. I don't know. That it remembered. Anyway, Esau married an Ishmaelite, which we know is Abraham's other son. It says it right there. Then in chapter 28, verse 9, then went Esau into Ishmael and took unto him the wives which he had, Mahalath, the daughter of Ishmael, Abraham's son, the sister of Nabajoth, to his wife. So I think he had 2 wives, is what it was. But I want to study him in the on Tuesday after we finish 2 Samuel. I want to study his line if y'all are up for that. But anyway, Esau married those women, and then Jacob had a dream about he dreamed that there was a ladder set upon earth, and the top it reached to heaven, and the angels were ascending and descending. Now I'm not saying that Jacob wasn't special. I'm just saying that Rebecca was shady. Oh goodness, service alert. There, what? Okay, hold on. Let me find out what this said. Okay, this thing went crazy. My internet service was telling me there was a service outage. Am I still here? I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Um. So, okay. This is such a messed up study, and I'm sorry, but we're going to get through it, and it's going to be fine, and maybe we'll learn something today. It's all right, Bella. She's shaking like a leaf. It's not thundering anymore, but it's animals don't know. They're like babies. They don't understand. Um, where was that at? I don't even know why I'm looking at that. I have no more notes about that on there. But Jacob had a dream about the ladder, and like I was saying, I don't think that Jacob was technically a bad person. I think that because of the way his mother did things, that that's why things went wrong. That's why he had to run away. Because it seemed to me Jacob didn't really want to do it. He was like, but my father will know that I'm not. I'm smooth skinned. I'm not my brother, that kind of thing. But I don't know. If y'all have any more thoughts about it, y'all can let me know. But then I went on to, for whatever reason, I guess I didn't even have any questions about 29 through 31. I went on to chapter 32, where Jacob's name changed to Israel. Um, So his name was changed to Israel, and he let's see, where's it at? After he wrestled with God, and there was it says the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint, and he wrestled with him. And he said, "Let me go, for the day breaketh." And he said, "I will not let thee go, except that thou bless me." So Jacob wanted blessings. He really wanted blessings. He even wouldn't let go um of the one who was fighting, or like wrestling with him, with God. He wouldn't let go of God until he blessed him. Which to me, it's like, okay, you don't fight with God. You don't give him ultimatums, but he did. And let's see, where was I at? And he said, "Thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel, for as a prince hast thou power with God and with men, and hast prevailed." So God did bless Jacob, and which before that, let's see. And he said unto him, what is thy name? And he said, Jacob. And he said, "Thy name shall no longer be Jacob." Okay. And Jacob asked him and said, "Tell me, I pray thee, thy name." And he said, "Therefore is it that thou dost ask after my name? Wherefore is it that thou dost ask after my name?" And he blessed him there. And Jacob called the name of the place Peniel, "For I have seen God face to face, and my life is preserved." And as he passed over Peniel, did I say Peniel? Okay, yes. The sun rose upon him, and he halted upon his thigh. So his thigh was out of joint. It says, "Therefore the children of Israel eat not of the sinew which shrank, which is upon the hollow of the thigh unto this day, because he touched the hollow of Jacob's thigh in the sinew, and that shrank." So Jacob, which is now called Israel, had it seems to me that he had a permanent limp, probably, or a permanent injury. So God had changed his name. And then I went on to chapter 35, and I wrote, God talks to Jacob and tells him to build an altar. Jacob tells his household and all that were with him to put away the strange gods and be clean, to change their garments and arise, go to Bethel to make the altar. God changed Jacob's name to Israel. I already wrote that, or that was before. But oh, you just saw it, Donna? Yeah, I'm doing it on my phone because I didn't know what else to do. I'm trying to block that light with my head, but I keep failing. I keep getting, I don't know. I don't know where to sit the phone because I don't have a stand over here. And yeah. So, okay, where was I at? I am so confused. So God said to Jacob, "Arise and go up to Bethel and dwell there, and make there an altar to God that appeared unto thee." Nice halo. Thanks. I'm not trying to have a halo. "That appeared unto thee when thou fleddest from the face of Esau thy brother." Then Jacob said unto his household and to all that were with him, "Put away the strange gods that are among you, and be clean and change your garments." Okay, we know that before that, Rebecca. Well, I totally skipped over all the stuff that happened. How that um Rebecca and Leah and all them came into the way. That is what I found odd. Put away your pagan gods. Yeah, because they kept the pagan gods, because you know that where was I at? Oh goodness. Okay. Where is it at? I have to find it. This is not good, y'all. I'm just so bad today with this. That he had fallen in love with Rachel and all that stuff. And y'all know that Rachel had stole her father's um Laban's gods, which is what gets me. Okay. Laban was worshiping false gods. Okay. Um let me get this right because it's in my mind, but I don't know if I can get it out. Rebecca is Laban's sister. Yes. I wondered if Rebecca was worshiping false gods too. And that Isaac was following the one true God. So it's like a house divided. I wondered that. I don't know, but they are brother and sister. But Rachel stole her father's gods and lied and said she was having her monthly and hid them under her whenever that he came to look. And Jacob had said, whoever has your gods, let them be put to death. He didn't know that it was his favorite wife. He didn't understand that part because he did not know she had stolen them. So she was being deceptive already. Like, she was deceiving her husband. It's like, what is happening with these women? We're supposed to be learning from these women in the Bible. I guess we're learning what not to do. But anyway, he had told them to put away your false gods. So that means to me, that seems like, no, not seems. That says to me that he was allowing pagan worship with his people that were following him. It makes me wonder if he was following a pagan god until he wrestled with God. You know, it's like, I wonder. But I don't even know if let me just real quickly, I'm just going to tell you the things because it is 3:30 now, which I know we've been interrupted and I've been a mess the whole time. But I'm going to just, the last little bit of notes I wrote until 46. 36, Esau's descendants were in that part. 37, Joseph was sold under very horrible circumstances. Yeah, I think that's something we all wonder because, like, were they following false gods this whole time whenever they were supposed to be the children of God, the one true God, you know? Chapter 38 is tribal history, and like, let's see if I can go there real quick. About Judah and Tamar and all of that. And then chapter 39 is Joseph in Egypt. Whenever he comes back, like Dagon is his wife's home. Did he know or did he not care or allow it? Yeah. I'm trying to read this tiny screen whenever y'all type stuff and then it disappears quickly. So I don't have a choice. It's not like on the screen. Let me put on my reading glasses maybe. That may not help. Oh, that's just a bunch of glare. I don't know. I'm trying. So Joseph was in Egypt in chapter 39. And then in chapter 40, Joseph was in Egypt. And then he was jailed because of Potiphar's wife, because she lied. Another liar. Another woman that's lying. Why? We're going to have to learn what not to do. We don't, from these women. And then he was interpreting dreams of the baker and the butler. And he had, the butler was put back into his place and the baker was crucified. Well, not crucified. That's not the right word. What's the word? He was just killed. He was killed. He was executed. That's it. That's the word. But whenever the butler was put back in his place, Joseph told him, he said, remember me. And he didn't. Joseph was forgotten in chapter 40. He was totally forgotten about. The butler didn't ever think about him. And then in chapter 41, 2 years later, Pharaoh has a dream. Let me make sure I'm right. Chapter 41. Yes, Pharaoh has dreams. And he's like, well, none of my people can interpret. What does this mean? Why is this happening? Why, and so the butler finally remembers Joseph and how that he had interpreted the dreams of him and the Is it the baker? Was it the baker? I know it was the butler. Yeah, I think it was the chief baker. Yeah. Um, that crazy little nursery rhyme, the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, it comes in my brain every time I read this story. Is it ridiculous? Yes. But anyways, um, he finally gets remembered. So he comes and he interprets the dream for Pharaoh, and Pharaoh puts him at next level. Like he is the highest in the nation other than Pharaoh. The only person above him is Pharaoh. So it's like he goes from a son who is a favorite because of who his mother is. And his mother is deceitful, which is sad. But he goes from being his father's favorite to being hated by his brothers. One brother trying to save him, but the other brothers sell him. Um, and then he gets put into prison because this other woman's lying and can't get her way. So um, he goes to prison, and then he helps people while he's in prison, but then he gets forgotten again. And now all of a sudden, he is the highest person in the nation other than Pharaoh. So I believe that God put him there on purpose, which it does say that. He says it himself in the Bible. What was that? I couldn't hardly breathe or something. It's like a weird breath thing. Okay. Chapter 42, Joseph's brethren visit him because there's a famine in the land, and they go to visit because they hear, oh, there's food there. Let's go to Egypt. Wasn't it Egypt? Please let me be right. I don't know anymore. I believe it's Egypt. Anyway, yeah, it's Egypt. Okay, so they go there because there's a famine in the land, and because of this, they are looking for food, and they go to where they know that there's food. So whenever they come to visit, he gives them the food, and then he puts the money back in their bags, and they find the money, and then they're scared, and they're like, all this stuff about going back. And he said, bring your brother, and their father says, no, you're not taking my son. He's the only one I have left from his mother. I'm not letting him go. He's the baby. He's this, whatever. Yes, I am paraphrasing a lot. That is not what the Bible said, but it's like that's kind of. It's in Kathy speak. But anyway, Benjamin is finally brought to Joseph. Mind you, this whole time they don't know it's Joseph because he's speaking through an interpreter. He's not speaking their language at all, even though he knows their language. He understands every word they're saying. But they don't know this. They don't even recognize their own brother. Which I know it's been years, but I still think I would recognize my brother if I saw him 30 years later, 20 years later, whatever. Um, I don't know. I could be wrong. But anyways, chapter 43, there's famine. We all know about that. And then the brothers come back to see Joseph again. And Joseph sees Benjamin. And there's several times during these different chapters, these few chapters, that Joseph, he breaks down and he goes into his chambers and he weeps. And because he doesn't want them to know who he is. He doesn't want them to know what's happening. And I don't think he's being deceptive. I think he is. Maybe he might be trying to save his brothers from. Maybe I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Maybe he's trying to make sure that his brothers don't double cross him again. The Egyptians wore wigs due to lice, I have read, and makeup, so it isn't far-fetched for them to not reckon. That's true. I did hear that they shaved their heads and wore wigs. I did read that somewhere, and I know they wore makeup. They wore like the eyeliners and stuff like that. But I still think there would be something about my brother. I don't know. He was very young whenever they sold him, though. He was very young. So I guess if you look at pictures of Noah whenever he was little and pictures of him now, if you didn't know him, you might not know him, that kind of thing. So, chapter 44, Joseph had the cup put into Benjamin's bag, his cup. So, whenever this happened, um, this was a way for him to have Benjamin there, and they said they accused him of stealing it, but he didn't steal it, and all of that stuff, and they were afraid that Benjamin was going to die, and their father was going to die, which honestly, I feel like the brothers deserved this punishment. They deserved that stress in some ways. But, I mean, I don't know. But anyway, in chapter 45, he couldn't hold himself back anymore. He tells his brothers who he is. He asks about his father. He wants to know if he's still alive, and he says, "Go get my father. Go get all of his people." And Pharaoh even says, let's see, in chapter 45:17, and Pharaoh said unto Joseph, "Say unto thy brethren, this do ye, lade your beast, and go, get you into the land of Canaan, and take your father and your households, and come unto me." Let's see, a little retribution, yeah. "And I will give you a good of the land of Egypt, and ye shall eat the fat of the land," which this is whenever they come into Egypt. But this is when they end up in Egypt. The Israelite children end up in Egypt, which is not good, but we'll go on to that soon. So Joseph tells his brothers, and then Israel goes to Joseph, and he sees that his son is still alive. He rejoices about this. He's happy about this because his baby boy that he thought was dead, which honestly, I feel like he played favorites too, just like his mother did. That's not right. Just because she was the one that he wanted and she had the children, that he shouldn't have treated those two kids different. But he did. And, it's like, yes, God put Joseph there for a reason. He put him there to save the people. But I still don't think that Jacob should have treated one of his children better than the other, or two of his children better than the other. So let's go ahead and look at the questions. Which, y'all, these questions, I like. Well, I haven't even looked at what it says in the books yet. Like, the questions, they just seem so elementary. I don't know. I'll put it this way. Donna gives me better questions than this does. And so does Amy. Y'all give me better questions than these books do. Because you make me dig more than these books. But that's all right. It's fine. But in the little thing it has here, and I'm not going to read it all. We're like way in over an hour of doing this, which, I know I started kind of late and things have been crazy. But that's all right. Last week it stormed, tried to stop me from doing the study. This week it stormed, tried to stop me from doing the study. But I'm not stopping doing the study. I'm still doing it. I told y'all I was not going to miss this one if I had to do whatever I had to do. So, have you ever just wanted to kick yourself for giving up on this too soon on a goal? I haven't. Because usually if I have a goal, I go ahead and do it. It might take me some time. I may take some pauses. But if I really, really want it, if it's truly a goal, I keep going. Because there's been times I wanted to quit YouTube. Because there were times when I got into these funks because other channels were growing faster than mine. And then I was like, that's not even why I'm doing this. I'm not doing this for growing my channel. I'm doing this for growing myself. For, connection with other people. I'm not doing it for the numbers. So, no. I've not regretted giving up on a goal. Not that one anyways. And there's really not been any other goals that I've given up on. Like, honestly, I know this is crazy. Y'all are probably going to think I'm nuts. We had a goal of having more children, and it was a goal that we left in God's hands. And if He gave us more children now, whether through some sort of adoption or if I had another child, which I don't think is going to happen, but you know, I don't give up on my goals. I may just have to wait. But if it's something that God wants me to have, now I used to. I used to really bad, but I never have regretted that now that I've grown up. If that makes sense. I don't know if it makes sense. I probably don't make sense today. For example, maybe you told yourself you didn't have time to go back to school or complete a degree, even though you were only a few credits shy of graduating. I know life happened. You had financial struggles, were caring for an ailing loved one, or had kids, or you had to put your dreams on the back and you had to put your dreams on a back burner. I can't read. So you gave up and told yourself that it's just too late for you. In Genesis 35, Rachel died before reaching her promise. Now, I don't believe that. I don't believe what this says. And whenever I was reading this, I was like, no, she didn't. Yeah, she died whenever she was giving birth to her son. But I don't believe she gave up on her promise just because she died because she was having a hard labor. That just didn't make sense to me. But it's okay. I understand where she's coming from in the book. If you've been keeping up with the readings, you know that in Genesis 30, Rachel grieved over the fact that she couldn't have a child. Her sister Leah was fruitful, but Rachel was unable to conceive, which caused her much heartache. I don't believe she did either. Okay. But God finally blessed Rachel with a son, whom she named Joseph. After experiencing this miracle, she immediately spoke a prophetic word unto her own life and said that she would have another son. She had faith that God could do it again. However, Rachel made a mistake. She didn't have enough faith to put God completely first and stop worshiping idols. Now, that might be true. She was still worshiping idols, I believe, and it brought her down. In Genesis, now, I don't believe her worshiping idols is the reason why she died. That's why I don't agree with this. But that's okay. I mean, I understand where she's coming from with this, what she wrote. In Genesis 30, okay. Bella making noises. In Genesis 31, she stole her father's idols in his house when she left with Jacob. When her father came looking for the idols, Jacob called the death of the person, we already talked about that. The lights are blinking again. But because of the intense labor pain brought on by disobedience, she died in childbirth. Now, I don't believe that the labor pains were brought on by disobedience. I just don't see that. Lights are blinking. Y'all don't freak out. We're not plugged up. I just don't see that part. I don't see how that she... I'm just glad that chili's done. Noah will have food whenever he gets home. But, oh, wait. Matthew Henry says she had hard labor, harder than usual. This was the effect of sin. Okay. Unto the woman he said, this is Genesis 3:16, I will greatly multiply. This is because of what Eve did, not what Rachel did. So, I just don't believe it was because of her sin. I don't believe that. I don't believe that she lost her life because of that. Because of her own, only because of her sin. I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay. She was so close to her destination, but she died. The baby was successfully delivered. The miracle still came, but Rachel couldn't enjoy the fruit of her labor. But the baby was still born. I don't know. The baby was still there. His brother got to see him. I don't know. Some of the stuff I don't agree with a lot of things sometimes. Anyway, that is what that said, and I didn't even finish because I didn't read the questions. What goals did you give up on that seemed too far-fetched? I didn't have any. I don't have any goals that I've given up on that I can think of. I'm not much of a dreamer. I just don't do that. And like, yeah, I have goals that are taking me a long time. I have a goal to declutter my house. It's taking me a long time. Y'all know that. And if you've been with my channel for a while, you know I've been on a decluttering mission for a very long time. But I'm doing the decluttering in a certain way so that I don't regret what I give away, if that makes sense. So, I don't know. I just don't have any. I just don't. I don't know. Maybe I'm weird. What visions or dreams do you have that you need to pick up and dust off? I don't have any. I can't think of anything. And the only question here is that in the story, Rachel had a midwife who tried to encourage her to hold on to her promise. Okay, so. Oh, y'all are sliding. I'm sorry. I'll fix y'all in a minute. This is a mess. Where does it say? And it came to pass as her soul was departing that she called. Okay, that's been enough. The midwife said to her, "Fear not, thou shalt have this son also." That's all she said. You're going to have the son. You're going to have the child. She did see the baby being born. She knew it was a boy. Sorry, still here. 6 grandchildren just walked in. Oh, that's a blessing. I had goals, but God didn't allow them to come to fruition. I wish I could see what y'all are saying. Can I see it? Yes? Okay. Oh, if I push that button, it'll come back up. Okay, maybe they'll stay up. I don't care if I don't see myself. Oh, no, they're not going to stay up. Okay. What does this button do? I don't want to do... No. I don't want to do, filters. I don't care. But anyway, who do you know that needs encouragement to hold on? How will you help them? Okay, my person that I thought about whenever I read that, I do have a person, Noah. And the reason why is because he very easily gives up on things that he wants to do. I don't know why he does that, but he does. He does give up on things he wants to do. So I did have a person for that I do encourage quite often to just keep going with what they want to do and don't give up on it, because he has things that he's doing that he doesn't, that he's just not wanted to give up on. All right, so this book, the bigger book, the one that we're questioning, which I think we're just going to keep doing it, y'all. I don't know. It's up to y'all, though, really. In this week's readings, we see women like Sarah and Rachel faced with unfair expectations, trying to make things work. Sometimes when this happens to us, we are prone to making bad decisions, placing the people we love in danger, sacrificing our purpose, or giving up when we should keep going. Giving up is not just stopping, but sometimes intentionally going in the wrong direction. We have to ask in front of us, no, we have a task in front of us that seems hard, so we ignore it or try something else. We start a passion project, but when fear creeps in, we do something easier. Have you experienced this? With the pressures and uncertainties of this world, it's easy to give up, and yet giving up is being disloyal to God. This is hard when situations don't feel or sound like blessings. We can ask Esau about this. Esau put his physical desires in front of his blessing and birthright. I don't believe that's true. I mean, if I'm starving to death, I'd probably get up and find something. I wouldn't give away my birthright, but still, yeah, I guess she's right about that. He gave up what God wanted him to have. He was later tricked by his own mother and brother, which I don't think he was tricked. I think his daddy was tricked. But what we learn is that God has a way of making what should cause heartache into a space of healing and restoration. It is when we don't give up that we open up pathways for God to do his work. I don't think we open up pathways. I think we just get out of God's way and let him do his thing. I don't think we open anything. If God wants to do something, he's going to do it whether we're in the way or not. So anyway, I'm not going to keep reading that part because y'all have the books, at least most of you do. Sarah lived until she was 127 years. Why don't you think she gave up? Well, I don't think that. I think she did give up. I think she gave up whenever she told Abraham to go in to Hagar. So yeah, she did give up. But once she had Isaac, that changed. And I wrote, she did give up until she had Isaac. At that time, she changed. She had given up. She didn't even believe. She laughed and didn't believe that God was going to give her a child. So, Genesis 26 through 29, Rebecca was very involved in the blessings of Jacob and Isaac. How was she trying to serve God? We already talked about that earlier. She wasn't. She wanted her favorite son to be blessed. That was my opinion. Genesis 30 through 33, like Rachel, we all experience jealousy and hopelessness. How can you relate? I've been jealous at times, but learned that what I see may not be really all there is. I have learned not to be jealous now. And I'm not jealous of other people now because they may have a bigger house, a nicer house, a bigger car, a nicer car, or whatever, that kind of thing. But they also probably have a lot more bills, a lot more things that I don't have. That, I got them all set up. They're good now. Okay. Hi, Debbie. But yeah, I don't feel like that. I mean, there have been times in my life where I was jealous, but now that I grew up and learned that not everything we see is what it looks like, I've learned not to do that. So, I mean, not that it doesn't creep up, but it quickly goes away because I'm like, wait a minute, you don't know how they got that, that kind of thing. Genesis 34 through 36, how did God speak through the devastation in these chapters? God's people prevailed no matter what. Instagram isn't real. That is so true. I don't believe half of what I see on Instagram except the scriptures I put up. I believe those. Now, I do believe there's some women on there that I follow that are, they seem for real. They show you the good, bad, the ugly. So, those I feel I can trust them because they don't just show you the pretty pictures. In Genesis 39, Joseph was tempted yet able to think clearly in the moment. What can you learn from this? So this is probably talking about where that, me too, some are good. Yeah. Whenever Pharaoh's wife does what she does and he runs away, which she takes his clothes and makes up lies. But I said we need to put God first and not our flesh. He didn't do what, I don't know if you saw that my brother, oh, I'm so sorry, Debbie. I'm trying to use the mouse and I can't do that because that's not the right thing. I'll put you on my prayer list. I'll put you on there right now. Y'all remember Debbie and her family. But, anyway, let's see, where was I at? I don't even know now. But, okay. But, yeah, I hate that for you. I hate that happened. I hate to hear about anybody dying. It's a sad thing. I'm on Instagram, but don't understand what it's about. I just post pics of what I make is all. Well, Debbie, you're one of the real people on there that I follow. I know that sounds terrible, but you don't put fake stuff. You put real stuff. You're not just putting the pretty stuff. You're putting the other stuff too. You're putting whatever. You don't have to have a perfect plate to share it. You know what I'm saying? And I love that. Where was I at? I don't know. Oh, Joseph didn't get tempted by a woman that wanted to sleep with him. He didn't follow the flesh. He could have, which it doesn't say he wanted to. Yeah, Lois, you're another one that I follow that's truthful on there. But he didn't follow the flesh. So let's see, the last question. What does the story of Joseph reuniting with his brothers teach you about not giving up? And I said Joseph was abused and mistreated, yet he became greater than his brothers, just as God said, and was reunited with his father. So God said that he was going to, that Joseph was going to do things. And Joseph followed God. He believed God. He listened to the dreams God gave him. And, oh goodness, what's happening? I don't know how to use this on the phone. Thank you. It's been very hard on me and my brothers and his wife. And his kids, grandkids. He was a pastor for over 40 years. Oh, wow. Well, I'm definitely going to keep y'all in my prayers, and I'll tell my husband and son too to pray for you. But it's hard to lose anyone we love. It's definitely hard. Let's see. And y'all know that we don't do the icebreakers and stuff in this because, I mean, we can't get into groups. We're online. But Joseph listened to God, and that's what we have to do. We have to listen to God, or else we're going to end up in a place where we shouldn't be. And also, something else that Donna brought up that I wanted to bring up with y'all, it isn't mine to be fake. It isn't in me to be fake. I am me, like me or not. I don't like fake people. Yeah, definitely, Debbie. That's true. That's good. Um, y'all know how that we kind of got last week. We kind of got on the other scriptures that we were reading and kind of mixed them up. She said she's going to start on the day after or the day of. I don't remember which one she said. I'd have to look back. I can't right now because internet is out. But my data is working, but my home internet is out. But anyways, to start reading the new week after Thursday, and we'll still be on schedule. Um, it'll just be that if you look at the little schedule thing I made, it'll be the wrong days, but it's fine. It'll still work out where that you're reading the right amount before the next week, and we won't get mixed up with what we're on. And I think that's the best idea. But y'all do it however you want, whatever way works best for you. But I guess I'm gonna go for now because it looks like we got, I don't know what that is. But anyway, I'm gonna go for now, and I will see y'all later. I don't even know how to stop this live on my phone, but I will see you tonight on my video because it is ready. I know other ones have gotten messed up. But I will see you guys later. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today and for sticking with me, even though the video or the live quit because of the electricity and stuff. Let's see. Okay. Oh, wow. The sun is out, y'all. Look at this. Let me see if I can. I mean, yeah, it's wet and gross, but the sun is out now. The sun is out. And I look really weird on this thing compared to the outside world. But it's gonna get dark because I'm going to the front door. I want to look out front. Rainbow later, maybe. Look at that, the sun. Let's see if I can. Can you flip? Look, y'all can see where the sun is shining down. So crazy. After all that storm, look, there's puddles of water. And see my poor aloe. We're not gonna look at the aloe. They're sad. Y'all, I told y'all about my aloe. We're not going to look at it. It's too sad to look at. But anyway, it's my fault. I forgot to bring them in when it got cold. But I'm going to go. I'm going to see if I can turn this thing off. I don't know if I can, but I will see you guys tonight. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. And remember, don't take any wooden nickels and be sweet. I don't know how to turn it off. Yes.